Well, hello again, and thanks very much for returning to Classic Dirt Bike TV. Now, in this short clip, we're going to show you some archive racing footage from the Scottish Classic Motorcycle Club's event at Forfar in 2011, and we're going to get things underway here with the pre-1968 class. Now, I do hope you like this old archive footage. This video was shot in 8mm, of course, which was unfortunately the technology of the day, but nevertheless it's nice to take a look at this footage once again. As the riders leave the line, it looks like quite a good start there by William Wallace, a lovely Scottish name. Yes, it is indeed number 84. It's William Wallace on the BSA Victor, who is your early race leader. This is a lovely track, this here at Finavon Hill in Forfar. This was on the 3rd of April 2011. A nice picturesque landscape here with plenty natural terrain and changes in elevation. And number 27 there, that's Mike Doby on the CZ machine. As the riders make their way up the hill, but it looks like Andrew King who is your race leader. Steve Dent is in second place. It looks like William Wallace is now in third. Number 89 is Mike Bell. I'm just trying to pick up one or two of these riders because it has been some time since I've actually watched this footage myself, so I'm not too familiar with some of the riders, but here is your race leader Andrew King on the HIS Stormer machine. A lovely track here at Finavon Hill in Forfar. As you can see, no man-made jumps or berms, it's all natural hillside terrain, and as I remember, the wind was absolutely howling at the top of the hill at this race event. It's quite hard to keep the camera reasonably steady. Another nice HIS Stormer just heading up the hill there. As you can see, another lovely view of Finavon, but it's still Andrew King, number 293 on the HIS Stormer, who is your race leader. It's more like a kind of enduro track, this, rather than a scrambles track with its tight twisty turns and changes in elevation, but Andrew King still got a good lead there. It looks like William Wallace has now moved up into second position. But this Finavon Hill racetrack here at Forfar was usually our first ever race event of the season, and it was always a fantastic track to open the racing championship with. It was always dry at this track. We very seldom had a wet race meeting at this superb track. Number 89 is Mike Bell. I'm just coming through there again is 85, that's Willie Gordon. Number 27 is Mike Doby. But that's just a short clip of the first pre-1968 class. Okay, we're now moving on to the combined pre-1975s and the twin shock class. Quite a good lineup of riders for this event. As they leave the line, it looks like Derek McCauley on the Bultaco has a good start, but it looks like Tommy Anderson has got the whole shot on the 250 Husqvarna bike. And you can just about hear that wind howling in the background as the riders make their way through. So here's your race leader. It looks like it's still Tommy Anderson. Number 3 there on the 490 Micro, that's John Richards. He raced with the club many years ago, but I have to say that I haven't seen John at a race meeting for many years, but hopefully he'll come back one of these days. Number 18 is Jim Colligan there, also riding a 490 Micro. Not the greatest of tracks for these big open class Micro bikes, but nevertheless he'll still make the best of it. Number 122, I think that's David Hillis going through. Number 113 is Billy Chisholm. 431 is Andy Malloch on the Armstrong 500 bike. Don't know who this rider number 47 is, because after all it has been 10 years since I filmed this particular piece of footage, but we're looking at number 3, John Richards, on the 81 490 Michael, who is leading the twin choke class. Second position there looks like it's Aaron Dent, with Tommy Anderson in third position. Billy Chisholm just going through there again, number 113. Number 18 is a local man, Jim Colligan from Auchtermuchty in Fife, as he heads up the Finavon Hill on that big 490 Michael. As I said, these very tight and twisty racetracks are not the best tracks for these big 490 Michaels, but these big bikes like the open spaces so they can get the most use of the power from that big German bike. But Steve McNally just coming through there on his Elsinore. Number 51 there, that's Ian Ridley. I think that's a JBR Honda that Ian Ridley's riding there. But it's still number 3, John Richards, leading the twin shock class. John has a bicycle shop for repairing and selling bicycles, but as you can see, he's quite handy on one of these 490 bicycles, albeit with a slightly more powerful form of power. But very tight and twisty racetrack for this 2011 Finavon Hill meeting. We normally don't have the tracks as tight and twisty as this, but it'll be all down to whoever laid out the track prior to the race event taking place. Ian Stainton going through there on the Kawasaki. And Jim Colligan coming through there again on the big Michael. And number 431 there is Andy Mallock riding his 414 Montesa Capra. Number 60 here is Callum Wilson riding that Husqvarna frame bike with the big TT 500 Yamaha motor in the frame. Number 29 there is Derek McCauley. It looks like Ian Ridley's had an off-track excursion there, but number 311 here on the Husky 250s, not a rider that I'm familiar with, but going very well on that Swedish Husqvarna. Billy Chisholm just going down the inside there. But that's the racing highlights from the combined first race for the pre-75s and twin chock class. Okay, next up we're moving on to the P68s over 350cc. As they leave the line, it looks like a good start by, I think that's Liston Bell on the Triumph Matisse, number 98, as he makes his way down the hill. Yes, it certainly looks like Liston Bell, your race leader. Second is Steve Dent there on the Faber BSA. Third position is Graham Bell. Fourth is Stuart Riddle on the Twin Port CZ. Number 85 is Willie Gordon. But quite a tricky, tight and twisty track this here for 2011 here at Finavon Hill. Number 6 here is the world famous Charlie Robertson. And number 7 is Richard Bird on his big 500 Jawa Matisse bike. But here's your race leader, number 98, Liston Bell. Second is number 585, Steve Dent on the Faber BSA bike. Third position is Graham Bell in the yellow just going through. Stuart Riddle is in fourth position on that Twin Port CZ. Number 65 is Willie Gordon. Number 123 is Jimmy Allen. You may remember Jimmy from back in the day. Some quite quick riders in this class. Number 73 is Tom Forsyth, also riding a BSA Victor, and we're looking at number 6 again. That's Charlie Robertson riding that AGIS Stormer in the Rickman frame. So here's your race leader, number 98, Liston Bell on the Triumph Matisse as he heads up the Finavon Hill. But as I remember, this was quite a short lap here for the 2011 Scottish Classic event for round 1, but nevertheless was still quite enjoyable to watch. So it's still number 98, Liston Bell, your race leader on the Rickman Triumph. Number 585 is Steve Dent in second place on the BSA, the Faber BSA. And just coming towards us is Graham Bell. Sadly no longer with us, but when he was racing, he was a very quick rider, our Graham, riding of course a BSA this time round. But we're looking to the bottom section of the track, and the rider on the left there on the red, that's Tom Forsyth, one of the club organisers. So Tom has quite a lot to do with the running of the Scottish Classic Motorcycle Club. And there he is, just going through there on his what looks like a Rickman Triumph. Number 6 again is Charlie Robertson. Charlie's riding that Rickman 250 HIS Stormer. Charlie again, unfortunately unable to ride bikes and as he's been getting older, but nevertheless when he was on the go, he was some rider. Okay, another short clip for you here. This is the over 60s class. A lovely Triumph Matisse there. Nice view of one of those Rickman frames. But there's some very nice machines at this Scottish Classic Motorcycle Club's event. So we're looking at the over 60s. Number 0 there, right in front of the camera, is Ken Suter riding that big TT500 Yamaha machine. So we're just looking at the riders as they line up. Charlie Robertson again lining up for this race. Number 6. Tom Forsyth is in that lineup once again. Stuart Riddle there in the blue, and that beautiful twin port CZ bike. But quite a good lineup for this first over 60s class race. Two-stroke Husqvarna there, doing a bit of smoking as you would expect with a two-stroke machine. But they're still a very nice combination of single-cylinder 4-strokes and single-cylinder 2-strokes, and even those Triumph twins in this particular race. So we're just about to get under starters orders, just to try and find that gear just before we set off from the line. So as the riders leave the line, it's a good start by Stuart Riddle on the twin port CZ, but it looks like Ken Suter has taken the early lead on that big TT500 Yamaha bike. But as they come down the hill, it's number 84 once again. It's William Wallace on the BSA Victor, but Ken Suter goes up the inside. Stuart Riddle in third place there, just making his way around the corner. Number 141, I'm unsure as to that particular rider, but here's your race leader at the moment. It's number 84, William Wallace. And I must say, you couldn't ask for a better Scottish name than William Wallace. Second place is Ken Suter from Forfar, that number 0 just going through there. Third is still Stuart Riddle on the twin port CZ bike. And just coming towards us in the yellow, that's Graham Bell once again. Behind him is number 91, Alistair Aird. Number 6 is Charlie Robertson. Number 4 is Robert Kennedy on that 250 Cotton Star Maker. And number 7 once again is Richard Bird on that Rickman Matisse Jawa 500. So we're just looking to pick up our race leaders at the top of the hill. It's still at number 84, William Wallace on the BSA Victor, who leads Ken Suter there, number 0. Ken, of course, has got that big TT500 Yamaha motor in that frame, so He'll not be short of horses to catch William Wallace on his BSA. Still in third place is number 164 there. That's Stuart Riddle on the twin port CZ bike. Looks like Graham Bell is still in third there on the BSA. But as you can see, this track is very tight and twisty for a scramble event. It's more like an enduro to me than a scramble. Number 91 is Alistair Aird just going through there. You're looking at Charlie Robertson coming towards us, number 6 on the HIS Rickman Matisse. Very quick off the line, Charlie, in his day, and he was always called the whole shot king because he was always off the line and into the turn 1 at first almost every time. But here we're looking at number 0, who looks like Ken Suter is now your race leader on the big TT500 Yamaha bike. William Wallace there, number 84, is now down to its second position as the last lap flag is flown out. Once again, Graham Bell just going through on his BSA Victor with his traditional top hat engraved on the back of his race shirt. Number 91 is Alistair Aird, of course naturally related to the legend Jimmy Aird. But Alistair appears to be enjoying a nice run out on his old BSA bike. But that was most of the highlights from the first over 60s class race as we take a look at Charlie Robertson once again coming through to cross the line for the finish of this over 60s class race on his quite nice 250 HIS Rickman Scrambler. Okay, just to finish off some of the racing highlights from this 2011 event, we're going to show you a little clip from the pre-1975s and Twin Shocks class, and this will be the second race, of course, as we look at some of the providers there. Number 31 is Graham Miller on the Bultaco, 98 is Liston Bell, number 125 is Ian Stainton, in the blue there is Aaron Dent, and next to Aaron is his father Steve Dent, as we are looking up the back side of number 18, that's Jim Colligan's 1981 490 Michael. And we may just stick with Jim and watch that back wheel of the Michael get hooked up when he drops the clutch at the start of this race. So we're just about good to go. And the usual rooster tails from a 490 Michael as all the riders appear to get safely into turn 1. So we're looking at number 55, that's Tommy Anderson, who looks like he has the early lead as number 3 John Richards makes his way up Finavon Hill. So on the descent it looks like it's still number 55, Tommy Anderson, your race leader. Second position there looks like one of the Bell boys, I think that's still Liston Bell. Aaron Dent is in third place there with John Richards in fourth. And Steve Dent just making his way through in the green. Ian Stainton going through on the Kawasaki. Number 43 again is Andy Matlock on his Montesa 414 Capra. It looks like John Richards is now the race leader in this combined pre-1975 and Twin Shock class race. And it looks like Lewis Bell just going through there on the CCM bike. Looks like Lewis has made not such a good start of this race, but here's your race leader in the Twin Shock class. It's number 3 John Richards on the 490 Michael machine. Second is now Liston Bell, number 98. Third is Aaron Dent. And there's Lewis Bell just going through there on the CCM. Number 293 is Andrew King. Number 585 in the green is Steve Dent. Number 54 is Robert Kennedy Jr., who looks like he's heading for a DNF with mechanical problems on his CCM bike. Andy Malik just making his way through on the Montesa Capra, and number 136 is Stephen McNally riding that Honda CR250 Elsinore. But it looks like it's going to be another win for number 3 John Richards in the twin shock class as he heads towards the checkered flag, and I do hope you've enjoyed just this very brief highlights of the racing action from the 2011 Scottish Classic motorcycle race event, round 1 event here at Finavon Hill in Forfar. And don't forget to retune to my channel to see more of this kind of racing coming soon. Now, coming up, you have some very nice looking paddock bikes to show with you in volume 5 of these classic bikes from the paddock, so I do hope you'll rejoin me to take a look at that. So once again, thank you for taking the time to watch everything that goes on here at Classic Dirt Bike TV.